Oh my good golly gosh. Guys, we did it. We have conquered yet another year. And what they say is true. As you get older, the years go by faster. And I don't know how I feel about that. Because in ways, I feel like the weeks just move at a glacial pace. But then when you zoom out, the year's done. Done. How are your guys' years? How are we feeling? Let's check in. Let's do a body check, a body scan, head to toe. Can never do a full one of those without having my mind race at 1,000,000 miles an hour. The second I get to like my shoulder blades, I'm thinking about what I need to get at the grocery store. Haven't even gotten to my kneecaps ever on a body scan. So the year's done. Can you friggin' believe it? And I have to say, for the most part, 2025 was a real rootin' tootin' time. And a lot of you guys know that one of my biggest trigger words is TOOT, so I can't believe I did add a little IN to it. But yeah, I feel like for the most part, 2025 was a year of hedonism for me. It was a lot of saying yes. A lot of just seeing where my wants and desires were taking me. Did I pay the price for some of it? Yep. In the form of chlamydia. But I will say, I want to, maybe like October, September, that's when I started to feel a shift. You know, the leaves are changing. You feel a crisp breeze in the air. I felt like my internal clocks were changing. You know, I felt like maybe the fuckery needed to be put to a close. And don't get me wrong, no regrets. Would I do it all over again? I wouldn't do it twice, but I'm glad I did it once. So I feel like it's only right that, you know, as we're in a more contemplative, a more cozy part of the year, I'm starting to settle down with no one in particular but myself and a psycho-ass book called Calling in the One. Ever heard of it? Crazy book. It's a 7-week program, if you will, where every day you read a series of, it's a chapter, a lot of, you know, the layperson would call it, and then at the end of the chapter, you have like a little exercise you have to do. And it could range from, you know, clearing out mementos from exes to wondering where boundaries haven't been made in your life. I mean, it's honestly, I wanted to hate it. I really wanted to, because the second I felt like I was getting life coachy, I would have thrown the book against the wall. But alas, haven't gotten that vibe yet. So I'll report back. I'm halfway through. Maybe after that book, I'll be calling in the one. Maybe we'll find out at the end of the book, I am the one. Oh, guys, it's like I want to fall in love, but also I love being single. And I'm so good at it. So what I have for you today, last year I did some ins and outs. You know, what were we keeping in? What were we taking out for 2025? And I thought for this year, I'm going to give you 25 things that I have learned in honor of 2025. Things I've learned about myself, things I've learned about others, things I've learned about, you know, the world at large. And these are things that I've just noticed come up in my life. And I hope this is an opportunity for you to see, you know, what are some things that you've learned? Check in. Again, body scan. How are the kneecaps? All right, number 1. Bitch, I love a mourning dove. My love for mourning doves this year has become so strong. And to be clear, I'm not talking about a white dove. A white dove is, to me, well, sinister. It's candidly like the saboteur of all of the doves. There is something a bit spooky about them. Those are the ones that you would, fly out of a box at a wedding. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a beautiful, cool-toned, kind of purplish gray. If you're familiar with the Makeup Forever Endless Cacao lip liner, kind of that shade of gray. Dove. And I'm telling you, my relationship to this bird, perhaps I was one in a past life. They don't give a fuck. They will look at you as if you are a burden to them. And, I did name the dove that hangs out around my home. I named her Becky. To be honest, I named her Becky the Dove. And Becky the Dove and I have really kind of been through couples therapy in that there's trust. At one point there wasn't, because I tried feeding her a blueberry, and I crossed her boundary. We weren't ready. So I've given her the space and the time, and we've created a beautiful thing. I do think I will come back in the next lifetime as a mourning dove. So, number 2, your body will change. That is not, life-changing news. However, this year in particular, when I turned 30, my body changed and is changing. I think this was also a big year of me healing my thyroid, and there's a lot of wonderful things that comes with that, but I have really, for the first time, had to go on a journey understanding what those changes are and how it will be inevitable for the rest of time. Because I will say I refuse to live the rest of my life not liking the body I'm in. That sounds so exhausting, and I don't mean to sound trite, because I know a lot of men and women, this is a lifelong journey. And I will say what I learned on that is when I started to go through these feelings of like, that's new, don't remember that, I tried to kind of bypass the discomfort of how I was feeling in my body. And I wanted to just get to the other side of me being a self-actualized monk living atop a mountain who has never had a negative thought about my body. But I realized I had to kind of dislike what I was seeing in the mirror in order to then create a relationship with it. And then maybe we could move somewhere. There's a little more malleability. So I think I'm not 100% there. I've also learned my body changes kind of a lot. I mean, I see it probably more than other people, but it's going to happen. I mean, the grays are coming in. There's no way I can fight it. So that's that. Now, on the coattails of that, I've learned that you have to learn your angles. The ease with which I can look like the barefoot Contessa in photos is shocking. And that is no disrespect to Ina Garten and her beautiful East Hampton empire. But it's almost as if I'm taking photos on the edge of a 0.5 lens. I mean, it's so shocking. So I have really made an effort to figure out what are my angles, what is going to work for Emmers. The shoulders need to go back, okay? I know it might seem intuitive to put them forward to create a little bit of a little clavicle moment, a little décolleté. No, false. Now, on the coattails of that, coming in at number 4, I do think everyone needs to get a professional photo shoot done while your tits are still high and tight. I know you may think you look ugly right now. I promise you might, actually. I don't fucking know what you look like. You might be horrendous, but things are going to change, and things are going to change at a pace that is going to catch us by surprise. So if you can find a photographer, a friend, someone you feel comfortable with, or maybe if you felt more comfortable with a stranger, invest in a nice photo shoot that is going to make you feel good about yourself in the moment, something you can immortalize. I did one. I turned it into a beautiful linen brown let me try that again. A linen brown, hold on, let's do it again, everyone together. A brown linen bound book. It's stunning. Fuck, I'm stunning in it. And you don't have to do nudes. It doesn't have to be anything risque. I think you should maybe play around with that a little bit, show some angles. But I think you will thank yourself in the future if you have something that you can look back on and be like, wow, I really was that bitch. So think about it, look into it. Number 5, do not do the afternoon poop unless you absolutely have to. Hear me out. The morning poop is always on your side. It's swift. It's complete. It wakes you up at times. There's a sense of urgency. Now, there's something about the afternoon poop that's a little more, it's a little bit more of a protagonist, as the Christians say, the enemy. Okay? You may think, oh, I'm going to dinner, I'm going to do this thing, let me just try to, handle this now, prematurely. It will, and take my word for it, ruin the rest of your evening. If it's not 100% ready to go, your underwear is going to look like a massacre, okay? You're going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be sitting at the basin the rest of your night, not ready to go. It's shy. Never trust the afternoon poop unless it is screaming, yelling at the top of its lungs to excavate. Number 6, understanding what's my responsibility and what is not. Okay, on a micro level, as a people pleaser, I don't have to stack the plates for the waiter at the restaurant. Not my job. On a larger level, I don't have to fix someone else's problems for them. In ways that's actually it's a little egocentric. I know it can be coming from a place that is well-intentioned, but I have really made an effort to understand what is mine and what isn't. Because I think as a people pleaser, as a type A person, as a hyper-productive person, I also attract men who like me to handle their problems for them. It's so easy to be, I'll do it. No. I was at a dinner party not too long ago, and there was kind of like a little foursome of us talking at the table. And one of the women who was talking, her boyfriend was next to her and was kind of clearly being left out of the conversation, a la the girlfriend. My knee-jerk reaction would have been to immediately jump in and try to make him feel comfortable, okay, and try to ingratiate him into the conversation. But the reality was, it was the woman's responsibility. It was also kind of his responsibility. He could have jumped in, but also she should have moved her body so her back wasn't towards her boyfriend's face. And you know what? In that moment, I did nothing. Was I kind of dying inside because I could tell he was like trying to get in on the conversation? Yeah, but I was like, this is not my journey. It's not my responsibility. I can tell that's going to be an ongoing journey. Now, number 7, and stay with me. Embodying the change you want is sometimes harder than the suffering you were just enduring. There is something so flat and also unfamiliar and kind of unnerving about the interim period of time between you leaving a situation that no longer serves you and going into the next situation that is more aligned with who you are. That could be a relationship, that could be a job, that could be a habit of yours. It could be something internal. There's so many different ways in which that can show up. But it's not always going to be this very easy transition from the previous thing, person, whatever you were doing into the next. And that in between can sometimes be so uncomfortable. So much so that I think people can't withstand that discomfort and go back to the thing that was essentially negative, but because it was familiar, they'll go back to it. But I have learned that if you sit through that really weird in between, the reward is worth it. Even if you don't know what the reward is going to be, many times I haven't, but I'm just trusting that whatever I have let go was meant to happen. But you gotta push through. Number 8. From now on, I will be asking for hard copies of STD results from other men. I have been lied to now twice when asked, have you been tested? Are you clean? Was it that? Oh, yeah, I got that. False. Chlamydia. Twice in the span of 2 years. That's too many. So from now on, I will be asking for, give me the PDF. I want you to go to FedEx Kinko's and I want you to print that shit out. And if you're like, oh no, it doesn't give it that, figure it out. Give me a clean bill of health. All right. Number 9. You have to give people the space to grow within yourself and with other people. But in this instance, I learned more about with other people. People are going to do weird shit in the process of them growing because no one knows what they're doing. So if you become hypercritical of the people around you and your friends because that was weird, why did you do that? Maybe they're trying to figure it out. Okay? Where's the grace? Let's give a little grace. Let's give a little room. You got to give people the space to grow. Number 10, I'm done buying polyester. I know there's sometimes a time and a place, a puffer coat, I get it. It washes weird. Dare I say, gives me a little rash on the chest. I just feel like polyester is in everything now, and gosh darn it, I'm over it. I want natural fibers on my body, on my sensitive, rashy, keratosis pilaris chicken skin. Number 11, I almost exclusively masturbate on my stomach. That's been a shift, I want to say, in the last year or so. And I want to say I came across it almost as an accident. But it was a beautiful accident and it stuck. And I think you should try it. Now, if anyone were to walk in on me, that would have to be the end of me. I would just ask to be euthanized in that moment. But try it. There's something about it. I haven't gone back. The angles, the geometry, the physics, the literacy, there's something about it that just hits every time. Number 12, and I said this last year, and I'm going to say it again, because it comes up for me all the time. We have to swim more in the dang gray area. Where is the nuance? Okay, where is the this and the that happening at the same time? You can be this and you can be that, and it's fine. It doesn't mean that the that discredits this or vice versa. A tres leches cake is both wet and dry. Is anyone mad at the cake? Ever thought about that? That's a real thinker. Number 13. Sometimes people can't show you who they are unless you give them the space to. And this one hits home for me because I have a tendency to fill the space. I don't know if that's a trauma response. I don't know if it's just I'm a showman. But I have to take accountability in letting certain people into my life who maybe were some senile characters because I didn't give them the space to show me who they are. Because guess who was taking up all of the space? Me. Now, if I had let them show me, and in ways some of them did show me, and did I look the other way? Yeah. Yes, I did. But I have learned to, dare I say, be quiet. Hush. Let someone speak. Number 14. The shelf-stable red salsa at Trader Joe's is arguably some of the best salsa on this planet. And I am someone who thinks that generally Trader Joe's, there's some underworld happenings at all Trader Joe's. Okay, there's something, I don't know, the snacks in the frozen section, there's something afoot. But the red salsa, I'll take a bullet for it. The consistency, the texture, the flavor, the spice level. Oh, it's fabulous. Now, number 15. The love of my friends is something that I probably till the day I die will have the hardest time putting words to, because it is unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. The love of my friends has gotten me through some of the most ominous times. They laugh with me. They laugh at me in the best way. They lift me up, like Josh Groban. And I just think that there is such an emphasis on finding the love of your life and intimate love and dating, but the love of your friends is something to cherish so deeply. Pour into the ride or dies, okay? Dribble into the seasonal ones, because those are important too, and absolutely dehydrate the parasites. We are too old to be dealing with someone who maybe wants to skin you alive. Oh, God, I love my friends. Okay, number 16. Sometimes you have to have bad sex. And I'll tell you why. I recently had sex with a 19-year-old. A consenting 19-year-old. And I did it for the plot. I did it just to see what was afoot. What was I missing out on? Turns out, not much. Turns out, it's everything you thought it would be. Okay? Bad. No foreplay to be had. He brought out his cherry cola vape at the end. I blew this man for no less than 30 minutes. I don't know if really anyone enjoyed it. That's really up for question, but it built character. Okay? There was something about having this 19-year-old nearly drilling my holes, again, in a way that was unpleasurable, made me realize I am not the main character of this story. I think this one is for him. And that's okay. And that's okay. And I left that night with a bruise on my ass, remembering that sometimes the valleys have to be so deep in order for the peaks to be so high. Okay? So take it like a champ, take it on the chin, and just know something better is on the horizon. And your skin just got a little bit thicker from that. Number 17, laser hair removal chains are a scam. I'm going to say that one more time. Laser hair removal chains are a scam. I'm not going to say names. You know the ones. They do not work. Coming from a Greek-Polish woman who has been lasering for years. I mean, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. I think the machines in these offices are made out of Play-Doh. Like someone's not being held accountable, and I don't know what it is, and it's always the chains that are the most expensive. And they have celebrities backing them up, and charlatans is what they are. So go find yourself a laser hair removal place that is, a one and done. That it's just one brick and mortar, preferably in an Armenian neighborhood. And make sure it's not the machine that uses like the ultrasound jelly. That I don't know who wrote that off, but that's gotta go. Number 18. I have got to stop making soup in my luteal phase. I don't know what demonic creature overcomes me during the period of time, every single month, where I am ravenous. I am so hungry that 30 minutes after I had lunch, I had a hankering for French toast. Why, without fail, every time I'm like, you know what sounds good? Soup. That needs to be exorcised outside of me. I need a priest, I need a pastor, I need holy water, I need rid it of my body. Because I don't know who the fuck I think I am, thinking, this amuse-bouche, this appetizer is going to be filling. Oh, put chicken in it. You end up having like 3 shreds of chicken. Soup is for the follicular phase. It's for another time. It's not for luteal. I have got to just stock up on some damn steaks. But that is a me problem. Number 19. I will never be the type of person who opens a microwave while it's on. Or rather, someone who unplugs a curling iron while it's on. I will always turn it off before unplugging it. And maybe I am missing out on life's simple joys. Just like a carefree, tits out joy. But I am at peace with the fact that will never be me. And the microwave will always have to say 0. If you open the door and you left 17 seconds, I need that erased. I need it back to 0. Number 20. We have strayed too far from the natural scent of things. If I have to step foot in another Uber that reeks of black ice, I'm going to have a tantrum. I'm going to have the big one. Not everything needs to smell like a caramelized pear and sea breeze. Have we forgotten what cotton smells like? Have we forgotten when you take your sheets out of the dryer, just that natural scent, or rather lack thereof? Perhaps throw in a lavender sachet, but everything has gotten so scented. And I'm like, smell the jeans. And if you got a little doo-doo in the jeans, throw them in the wash with some unscented detergent. I feel very strongly about that one. 21. You need to tell your mom she's beautiful more often. And I mean that. Your mom, whether she's in her 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, is going through such a profound physical change that I don't think any of us are prepared to go through. And we all do, God willing. And I think our moms a lot of the times go through this silent battle of looking in the mirror and not recognizing who they are, not loving what they see, feeling undesirable. And it may be something that creeps up. It may be a slow burn. Whatever the case is, we got to tell our moms they're gorgeous, okay? At any cost. And mean it when you say it. Because fuck you. What? I'm not mad. And mom, if you're listening to this, no one has gams like you. Okay, the legs, let them out. The collarbone, stunning. All right? You have aged backwards, honey. and I mean it, and I love you. Number 22. Good things happen to bad people. We all know that bad things happen to good people, and that's so awful. It's so dreadful. But we forget that good things also happen to bad people. And I think it's a really hard pill to swallow. But once we're at peace with the fact that that may happen, I think you're unstoppable. Because if you are too invested in retribution and revenge and justice, it may eat you alive. That doesn't mean, stop fighting for what you believe in. But again, understanding what is your responsibility and what isn't. You got to protect your peace. Sorry, your shitty ex who murdered your cat is getting a promotion next month. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe he'll get hit by a bus the following week. I don't know. We can only hope. Now, number 23, you need to eat at least one hot dog a year. I think it just hits a quota, a spiritual quota, that may go missed. Preferably it's poolside. A nice charred dog. But don't go a full year without a hot dog. It does something to you spiritually, emotionally, that some may say it ages you if you miss your hot dog. Number 24. Straight men who love cats, it's going to do it for me every time. I don't know what it is, but I know if I see a straight man who adopted a cat, it's going to flip the ovaries. And I know a lot of you are going to disagree. And I hope that you can, stand with me and we can experience a little bit of camaraderie on this, because if nothing else, a straight man naming a pet, it's a beautiful thing. And we don't give them the credit they need. You're telling me that Jeremy sat down and named his cat Sesame? He woke up one morning, grabbed the cat, and then said, "Your name's Souffle?" That's tender, that's beautiful, and that needs to be rewarded. Keep it up. Now, last but not least, number 25, and this is something that has been coming up more in my life. Again, as things have been changing physically, emotionally, whatever, all of it, none of it. What if there was no such thing as being in your prime? I hear this come up with the older generations. Oh, when I was in my prime, I did, I'm so reminiscent of the years that I could do this and that. I'm like, what a waste for the years that you're in now. Also, without those years, you wouldn't be here, you don't say. But I'm starting to believe that there is no such thing as being in your prime, or there is no prime. You just continue to evolve and become this more interesting, textured version of yourself. Sure, can you maybe not 69 in your 80s? You're welcome. I mean, who wants to do that anyway? Wherever you're at in your life as a badge, a little Girl Scout badge, and live, laugh, love. Oh my God. There will always be parts of decades that will seem carefree. Oh, when I was in my 20s, I could do this, and now I have that. You know what you also had in your 20s? Bad sex. Yeah, you're probably still living at your parents'. You probably didn't have financial freedom. I don't know, just something to chew on. Now, for 2026, I will say, I don't really know what's in store. When I was going into 2025, I did feel like there was some silly energy afoot, and my God, was there. I mean, I got into some tomfoolery. I feel like for 2026, this is going to be a big transition year. I don't know exactly what that means, but I am hoping that all of us have multiple commas on our bank accounts. We have no fuck-ass energy people, leeches, no health problems. We're going to be cute, fun, sassy. I want 2026 to feel like a girl mania. I want glitter in my hair. I want glitter in my soul, okay? So let's all report back at the end of 2026, Q4, see how it all goes down. I will say I'm going to take just a brief break from the podcast. You know, I've been doing this now for 2 years. I've had an absolute fucking ball. I'm not going away forever. I know some of you would like that, and that's okay. Your wish is granted for, I would guess, about a month. I'm just going to take a little break. Just going to see what I want this to look like in its next phase. So I love you. I hope you are all just a little bit hungover on Christmas, and I'll see you next year.